drop C tuning is technically an alternative guitar tuning where at least one string has been lowered to a C, but most commonly refers to CGCFAD, which can be described as D tuning with a sixth string dropped to C, or drop D tuning transposed down a whole step. Because of its heavier tone, it is most commonly used in rock and heavy metal music. Variations: CGDGBE dropping the low E string to a C, and the A string to a G, to make a fifth chord. The rest of the strings remain the same, CADGBE This is achieved by taking standard tuning, and dropping the low E to a C. All other strings remain in standard tuning. Artists that have used CGCFAD, ANIMAL. From Acasados Nuestros Indios Meria and El Lugar to El Nuevo Camino del Hombre albums. A Day to Remember, August Burns Red, Acid Drinkers, newest albums, Alisana, on most of their Confessions album, Alter Bridge on some songs such as Isolation, Architects on album Nightmares. Asking Alexandria on the whole Reckless and Relentless album and the song Break Down the Walls. And So I Watch You From Afar, Archmatos, Born of Osiris, At the Gates, Atrio, Baroness, Buried Txarak, after their first album, Black Label Society, Black Veil Brides, Biffy Clyro, on many tracks, including That Golden Rule, The Captain, Living is a Problem Because Everything Dies, and Stingin' Bell, Black Stone Cherry, Breaking Benjamin, Buckethead, Bullet for My Valentine, Shovel for Face to the Floor, Children of Bodom, Chimera, Code Orange Kids, Counterparts, The Color Morale, Color Haze, Converge, Corrosion of Conformity, Closure in Moscow, The Crimson Armada, Da Gamma Yenth, Damage Plan on Reborn from Newfound Power. Death Stars, Deftones, on White Pony and other songs on later albums, D's Nuts, Demon Hunter, on their self-titled debut album, Devil Driver, mostly on the Last Kind Words and later albums and live performances, Disillusion, Disturbed, on some songs since 10,000 Fists, Dope, Eat Guy on Ministry of Saints, Empathic, Enter Shikari, Escape the Fate, Eskimo Callboy, Evans Blue, Evanescence on some songs, Falling in Reverse, Phantomaz on most of their songs, Firewind, Fozzy, Fuel, Won't Back Down, Full of Hell, Godsmack, Gajira, Hammerfall on One More Time, Hands Like Houses, Haste the Day, He Is Legend, Il Nino. The Breather, Helmet, Kill Switch Engage, King Butzo Kings 10, Lux Torpeda, Marmozets, Mastodon, Maximum the Hormone, Metallica on most songs of Saint Anger, Murder Dolls, Napier, Neil Young, Neck Deep, Nickelback, 9 Inch Nails Into the Void, Nirvana, Of Mice and Men, Pantera on I'll Cast a Shadow from Reinventing the Steel, Parkway Drive, Periphery, Peter Lears, Pillar, Planet Shakers, Poison the Well, Porcupine Tree, P.O.D., Queens of the Stone Age, most notably on Songs for the Deaf, Rammstein, Since Mine Hits Brent from Mutter, Red Fang, Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, Seether, Shadows Foul, Sick Puppies, Skillet, Sonic Syndicate, Still Remains, System of a Down, on their 3 first albums and the songs Question from Mesmerize and Dreaming from Hypnotize. Texas in July, The Agonist, The Faceless, The Human Abstract, Threat Signal, 3 Days Grace on 1X, The Black Dahlia Murder, The Unguided, The Used, Thrice, Theory of a Dead Man, Triggerfinger, TMNC, Truck Fighters, Unida, Uriah Heep, Vaginal Jesus, War of Ages, White Zombie, Winter Sun, Yellow Card, Poison Black. Artists that have used CADGBE, Bob Dylan predominantly in the period 1965 to 1966. John Mayer on the song Neon. Muse on the song Map of the Problematic, and Dead Inside, Nickelback, Brad Richter on the piece Flirtation. Artists that have used CGDGBE, Keola Bima, Melvin on the song Evil New War God, Richard Thompson, Soundgarden. References